Hey guys, it's been a little bit. I pre-recorded the last couple videos that you saw, so I haven't actually filmed in a while. I'm back. I'm a little frazzled because I just finished up with some of my homework assignments. My semester started like 2 weeks ago, I think. So I'm still getting used to the adjustment of like getting back into school and like doing homework and like studying. It's a lot. My battery's about to die. Anyways. Today's video is going to be a little mini book haul. I know I said I wasn't going to be buying books, but these are used books that I have been wanting for a little bit, some of them at least, and I just, quite frankly, couldn't help myself. Yeah, that's the only excuse I have for you. But without further ado, let's get into the video. Like I said, today's video is going to be a little book haul. I went to this really cool used bookstore by where I live. It's this like little hole-in-the-wall kind of place. And I've been there like once before and I found some really cool books. So I decided, well actually, here's what happened. I followed them on Instagram and I saw that they got a bunch of Stephen King books in. So I decided that I was gonna go and check out what Stephen King books they have available. That's mostly why I went to this used bookstore, okay? Because I want some more Stephen King books, even though, can you see that stack of books right there? Those are all my Stephen King books and most of them I haven't even read. Don't come for me. I am just collecting Stephen King. Even like, I know that I enjoy him as an author, so that I got that going for me. Anyways, let's get into the books. The first two books I'm just gonna get out of the way before we get into the Stephen King books. I found this like really cool copy of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis. Isn't it so cool? I'm so sad that the little corner of it, of the cover, is like ripped off. But other than that, it's a really cool copy. There's like a little glare. There we go. That looks good. It looks so cool though, and it's like it's got that old feel to it because it's like a really old copy. Let's see. I don't know what edition it is, but it's pretty old to me. The second book that I found, which I was actually really surprised to find this book because most of the books at this used bookstore is like, they're more of like classics and like older books, not really like newer fiction. But I found Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, which if you follow Ariel Bissett here on YouTube, then you know that she read this and she loved it. It's like a book about pandemics, from what I know. Something like that. I don't really know. Let's read the back. It says, Kirsten Raymond, that's an interesting name, will never forget the night Arthur Leander, the famous Hollywood actor, had a heart attack on stage during a production of King Lear. That was also the night when a devastating flu pandemic arrived in the city, and within weeks civilization as we know it came to an end. 20 years later, Kirsten moves between the settlements of the altered world with a small troupe of actors and musicians. They call themselves the Traveling Symphony, and they have dedicated themselves to keeping the remnants of art and humanity alive. But when they arrive in St. Deborah by the water, they encounter a violent prophet who will threaten the tiny band's existence. And as the story takes off, moving back and forth in time and vividly depicting life before and after the pandemic, the strange twist of fate that connects them all will be revealed. So yeah, I was right. This is about a pandemic, and I thought it'd be interesting to read about a fictional pandemic while we are in a pandemic. Little mind games we playing here, I guess. So yeah, those are the first two books that I found that are not Stephen King. Now, to get into the Stephen King, to be honest, there was a lot more books that I wanted to get by Stephen King, but I just didn't get them because they were like first edition copies that were like 15 bucks, and I was like, no, no, no. I'm here for the cheaper ones. Yes, please. So that's what I did. One of the books that I got, I've heard about this book. Oh my gosh, and I love that this is the kind of book that has like his huge portrait on the back of it. It's so funny. But anyways, so this book has been adapted into a movie from what I know. I've never seen the movie, and I haven't even heard if it's like a good movie or not. I haven't really heard many people talk about it, but it's a movie. It's been made into a movie. Anyway, it's Stephen King's Gerald's Game, and I only know a little bit about this. So basically, from my understanding, there's a husband and wife, and they're about to like get into like sexy time, and so the wife gets handcuffed to the bed, and then the husband has like a heart attack and dies or something like that. I don't know if it's specifically a heart attack, but he just dies on the spot. And she's stuck there, handcuffed to the bed frame, trying to figure out like how to escape, how to get out, if anybody will find her. Who knows? So it's like a bunch of like mind games, because she kind of like starts going insane from what I understand. So I thought that would be a really interesting book to read, and that's why I picked this one up. Also, it's thick. Let's see how many pages it is. It says it's 441 pages. Is it? Are there more pages? 445. That's a long book, and it's like really small pages. Anyways, I will eventually read this year, maybe. I don't know, but I'll read it. The next book I got because I've read this one before actually, and I possibly want to read it again because honestly, I really enjoyed it. But this is Joyland. It's let's see if you can read that. It's a hard crime. You can't really read that, no. It's a hard case crime novel. But basically, this college student, Devin Jones, he takes a summer job at Joyland, which is like a carnival, and he uncovers this like murder that happened years ago, like not that same year, but he starts to kind of piece things together in this murder because it went unsolved. So he starts to piece things together and kind of like figure out what happened. And that's kind of it. But he meets people along the way. He meets like this dying kid who's like in a wheelchair, but I don't think he's like a paraplegic. He's just in a wheelchair. And he like meets all these people, like all the people that he works with at the carnival, and it kind of changes his life forever. So that's what this book is about, and I really enjoyed my time reading this. I think I gave this like a 4 or a 5-star rating. I don't really remember. I read it last summer, so it's been kind of a while, but I really enjoyed this one. The next book is Mr. Mercedes. Now this one sounded really interesting. It's one of Stephen King's newer novels from what I understand. Let's see, copyright 2014. So I'm assuming that it came out around that time. So it is one of Stephen King's newer, in the last decade, newer novels. So basically there's this murderer who goes around killing people with his Mercedes. He just like runs them right over and then rolls out of there, and nobody can figure out who this guy, Mr. Mercedes, is. And then he killed like 8 people or something, and then he threatens to kill like thousands of people. And so it's, I think the main detective like is trying to figure out who Mr. Mercedes is before he's able to kill these thousands of people. It says it's a nerve-shredding, pulse-pounding race against time. It's #1 best-selling thriller, whatever. Stephen King has high praise. So I thought this was an interesting book. It's not like a horror book, it's more of a thriller, which I'm kind of more into thrillers nowadays. I haven't really dipped my toe into like straight up horror yet. So if you have any recommendations for like straight up horror, not just like Stephen King horror, but just like horror in general, let me know in the comments down below. And the last book in this haul, which is also the last Stephen King book that I have, is Dolores Claiborne. Now I don't really know what this one is about, so I'll just read you the inside part of it anyways. So by her own account, she's an old Yankee bitch. Dolores Claiborne, foul temper, foul mouth, foul life. Folks on Little Tall Island have been waiting 30 years to find out just what happened on the eerie dark day her husband Joe died, the day of the total eclipse. The police want to know what happened yesterday, when rich bedridden Vera Donovan, the island's grand dame sans mercy, and Dolores' longtime employer, died suddenly in her care. So then it says, with no choice but to talk, Dolores Claiborne talks up a storm. Everything I did for love, she says. And the spellbinding novel is at once her confession and her defense. So that's kind of what this is about. Let me look. Oh, okay. It has that cool, like, I don't even know what the kind of edges these are, but like they're textured edges, if that makes sense. If you know what I'm talking about, then we're on the same wavelength. But anyways, just that little like first paragraph that I read in the store sounded really good, and I also heard Noelle Gallagher talking about how she wants to read Dolores Claiborne this year, so I figured, like, Noelle and I have pretty similar taste, so I figured I would pick this one up as well. Alright guys, so these are the books that I hold at the used bookstore. These are all the Stephen King books that I got. And then the other 2 books that I got. I'm really excited to get into these books, actually. Some of these books, I don't know when I'm going to read them, but definitely this year for some of them. They sound like really interesting books. I'm really interested in reading them. So yeah, that is the end of this book haul. If you enjoyed, please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'll have my social media links in the description down below. I'm on Goodreads, I'm on Instagram, so add me down there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.